Hi, I'm Craig Dumont with PentecostalPastor.com, and it's a privilege today to have with me Pastor Kelvin Page. He's the lead pastor at Westmore Church of God. He is also what would you call it? Is it the president, or are you the CEO president
yes.
of Operation Compassion?
Yes.
And we're actually here, Kelvin, and I'm talking to you in your role today more from your Operation Compassion position, because what we've done is we have partnered with Operation Compassion, you and Operation Compassion, to work out what I think is hopefully a real beneficial situation where people can, if they subscribe to Pentecostal Pastor, can make a significant donation to Operation Compassion. And before we get into that, I just want to let people know that kind of the genesis for this is that over the last several years, Calvin has been a tremendous contributor to Pentecostal Pastor. He has put, probably what you have presented nationwide to large groups, both business groups and also to church groups, is your leadership training through Nehemiah, correct?
Yes.
And so we've got, I think the last time we did that, we put it on video for a seminary, but you have done that exact same presentation for business people.
Yes.
And so as we talk about this, I just want people to understand, even though we're called PentecostalPastor.com and we're geared primarily for churches, there's no doubt about that. The reality is that any Christian, whether you're a pastor, a CE director, or a business person especially, can subscribe to this, get great benefit out of PentecostalPastor.com, and provide the donation.
And Craig, I would, before we go any further, I would probably argue that there's a business component, a business side to the church that's often been ignored.
That's true.
And we've been afraid of it, we've run from it, or we have perceptions about it. Even theological perceptions, I think, that are not necessarily true. And I think this will help marry that for a pastor that really wants to lead a business model that can help him build out his vision as well.
So Pentecostal Pastor costs $52 a year to subscribe to. Out of that, $25 is going to go towards Operation Compassion. And then we continue to, on some of that comes in, obviously we continue to pour that into producing new materials. So there's going to be a lot more materials. Just a couple things on what they can get at Pentecostal Pastor that will benefit them as well as get you a contribution. Is your Nehemiah leadership. And again, I would say that whether that's for pastors to use themselves or to lead a class in, or for anyone in their congregation that would like to aspire towards leadership, and it's a good thing to be a leader, you just have to prepare. But there's that. Then you also have something I think is crucial. Now this would come down more on the church side, but it is I think it's probably equal in importance to the leadership, and that is customizing the ministry to fit your church, because at every location, every church is a little bit different, and you can't just cookie cutter. No. Just the most popular book that comes out and says do this. You can't do that, can you?
Yeah, we fell trapped. We've been entrapped by trends in churches through the years without stopping to consider what we would call the DNA of a local church. So there's a lot of material there that we expose as well and have found beneficial in our approach to ministry through the years.
Right. So you have a lot of your own material on there, and I want to just take it a step farther here. But we also have at PentecostalPastor.com people that you and I both have known for years that make contributions. Some of them are at your church. Dr. Terry Cross does some phenomenal, has some great series. One of them is on the doctrine of the church, just did that. And so that's going to be available. That's good for you, whether you're a pastor or a CE director or a member of a church. We've got Brian Peterson.
Dr. Peterson,
Old Testament professor at Lee University, who just did, boy, it's incredibly important. He just did a 16-part series on the Bible, sexuality, and the culture. And in fact, I think he's holding a seminar here at this place.
Every pastor needs to hear that.
It does. It's just phenomenal, especially with the turmoil in our culture today regarding sexual matters. And we have others. There's just we probably have 30 contributors.
So that,
up
and
there.
I think it's important to just clarify, that's what they get for their $52
$52
a year. They get tons of teaching, leadership coaching, great Bible teachers,
Yeah.
great models.
unlimited access to everything.
Yeah, for $52 a year.
Yeah.
And some of these people are paying big money to go over to a campus to catch some of what they'll bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, let me say this, Craig. First of all, we're just excited to partner, and I think it's important for listeners maybe to know what Operation Compassion is about. I don't want to assume that they know. Operation Compassion has been around for 21 years, and we respond to disasters. The latest one being Kentucky. I think we've had up to, last count I got, I think it's 50-some semi-truckloads, 53-foot semi-truckloads move into Kentucky. We're obviously in a different phase, but what a disaster. The tornadoes were there. We go all the way back to Katrina, major hurricanes, tsunamis around the world.
As much work as you guys have done around the world has flown under the radar.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
a lot of people know about Operation
Yeah,
Compassion.
and I think that was intentional by the previous director.
Yeah.
David Lorenzi, the founder, did an incredible job. But the reason he did that is agencies like Red Cross or some of the major, everybody would recognize, I could call off agencies, hired us to do the logistics. Red Cross doesn't own a semi-truck. They don't know how to move product or an emergency supply, so they're a fundraising machine. So they'll go in and put their banners up for the major television networks and then pay us to do the work because of logistics. Prior to David's death, he was working me toward accepting the presidency to Operation Compassion. Prior to his death, he wanted us to really look and focus on the idea of pulling Operation Compassion out of the shadows. And people don't know, but we're networked with 2,500 warehouses around the world.
Yeah.
We can call on different parts of the world to respond to disasters. We supply them product, vice versa. And so it's a cool setup, a worldwide setup. But one of the things we're wanting to do is respond to the worldwide water crisis. It's so sad when you really get digging into that. But
Just for that, I wore my global shirt here.
There you go.
I'm thinking Operation Compassion around the world.
Yeah.
I need to wear.
Yeah, but we not only go across the sea, we go across the street.
Yeah.
And we just bought 51 acres up here in the north side of Cleveland on I-75. We're going to relocate our campus. All of our products that we send to disasters will be located there in that 51 acres. And then we're going to build out extra warehouses so that I can kind of get back up on the fundraising stuff. It's so difficult to raise funds to move trucks and ships and all the things that we do. So we're excited about that vision, and a lot of good things will come out of that. But I'm so grateful to you. You came to us with an offer, PentecostalPastor.com. It's an exciting endeavor, and everything when I've heard you talk about this vision, it really is exciting. And you've got some quality people. I set myself aside. You've got some quality people that are involved with this, and I think it's very generous of you to say, hey, out of $52 a year, that someone would have access to all the material, training materials, coaching materials, exposure. For $52 a year, $1 a week, you said we'll give $25 to Operation Compassion. What a blessing! So that $25 someone would give, I can promise you, every penny out of $52 you'd give. Craig has agreed as founder of PentecostalPastor.com to share back $25. So, oh goodness, it would be so appreciated, and it would go so far. Plus, you get a benefit, and I think that was your intent, to work something out where we could find a mutual win-win.
Yeah, I guess really we just wanted to give them an opportunity. From my perspective, looking at your ministry, and we've known each other for what? I mean, too long. Yeah, forget that. But I have a high regard for what you're doing. It's just an amazing ministry. Well, they're in that Westmore, both, and you've contributed so much that really, and I know how beneficial your teaching and others that we have on there has been to groups around the country, and you still continue to get called out to, for instance, camp meetings to give presentations on some of these topics. That it's an opportunity that we have to give as they give to Operation Compassion. Definitely $25 that they get back. To be honest with you, I think it's worth a whole lot more than $52. I mean, I used to pay a fortune for that stuff.
Again, setting myself aside, just the quality of some of the instructors you have on there. I mean, I marvel at sitting and listening to what they're presenting, and as a pastor, you would have an opportunity to share that in a class, to use it for your own benefit. It's just rich stuff. And I would say to you pastors too, from the Westmore perspective, prior to accepting, and I'm still pastor of Westmore, the church really wanted me to stay, and I'm very flattered at that, to fill the pulpit and to protect the vision. Mm-hmm. So we have a partnership with Operation Compassion so that I can do what I do. Now in saying that, back to the church, I think, pastors, I would really encourage you. I know raising cash is one of the most challenging, difficult thing, but getting out of the box with that a little bit. I think that's something we've tried to present in the acronym CASH, C-A-S-H.
Oh yeah, we have that, yeah.
And that's something that I just wish that every pastor could pick up, not because it's me, but I felt like it was something God gave us. And raising funds is always a challenge. I know we've just, and please know I'm not slapping myself on the back at all, but we just built out a $20-some million campus.
Yeah.
And raising cash, it takes money to operate. So how do you do that from a pure heart and keeping perspective and making sure that you're building people and not building buildings, and do that in the right way? That is a challenge for every pastor. But a lot of times that's what hinders our vision from really getting...
We actually produced that several years ago, so you're going to look a lot younger in that. We need to redo that, baby. They're going to go, where's he at when they see that?
Where's that guy?
But the reality is we did that several years ago, and that was actually before you got really into this.
Yeah, that was the model I was using.
And yet, I will tell you that's the model. What you did before you got into this this really larger one is exactly what you laid out in that. That is a really nicely laid out, easy to understand.
So I don't know where you can go to get this kind of stuff. And again, some of the best, whether it's Bible teaching or coaching or leadership development, whatever, it's there. It's practically free. And we just want to encourage you to not be afraid to develop, maybe to get out of the box a little bit. I've had to do that, and it's painful sometimes, but to stretch and to look at things from a little different perspective. So, I'm excited about the partnership, and we continue to do what we do.
We have a wide range. It's not just Pentecostals; it's people who are very friendly to Pentecostals. And I know a few of those people. I talk about how beneficial you've been for others. I know that you've told me some of the things that one of our contributors, Garrett Dawson, wrote the book on the ascension of Christ and Jesus, and you found that really beneficial. He's been on with several different
I've started speaking on the ascension every year, and I knew how valuable it was. I knew it, but to celebrate it, to bring it into the level of Pentecost Sunday or the Easter holiday, it's expanded the rhythm of our calendar at our church to where our people now, we do balloon launch, and I don't mean to get off on that, but the Ascension Sunday is taking on a whole different, fresh, so if you want something fresh, get into that. This is tremendous stuff.
So, I'm really excited. We're coming out of that stuff. You're going full speed ahead with Operation Compassion in terms of expanding that ministry that people need to get on your mailing list for, and also the work at Westmore continues to expand. So I'm excited. This is going to be a fun thing, and maybe even as we get going, maybe you'll even let me come out and do some videos on site with what you guys are doing.
Absolutely. As it goes up, we'd be happy to report. That's good stuff.
So
thanks, Craig.
Yep. Thank you, Calvin.